All right, everybody, welcome back to another Total Annihilation replay. Today we have a very popular map for you. We have the Great Divide. Now, this isn't the Great Divide 2. This is the original Cavedog Great Divide. Very popular map for Great Divide ground wars with build time, where you just play north versus south, and you just get a lot of firepower jammed up in this little pass that's right here. You can see that we got mountains on both sides of it here that units can't go over. And so this is basically it as far as driving your units through. The downside with this map is as nifty as the concept is, it is not balanced. Cavedog was doing the whole thing where they don't make maps that are even. So you can see down here you have me, Postal, Corps Commander in red. I've got this nifty little +2, another +2, and then a 1.2 right next to each other, all within short walking distance of my commander. EMAC up here is the weak side. He's starting with the 1.7, the 1.2, and the 0.8 for all his metal. This is also spaced further apart, so it makes it a little bit harder to defend, especially considering the distance for me to get to the pass is shorter than the distance for him. So he's got to go a little bit further. Now, he has decent resources overall, and he's got a geo. So that's one of the differences that this map has, is there's the geothermal on the top. So this is probably a intergalactic war game on PhoenixWorks, or it is a ladder game between PRO-EMACIATOR, who we called EMAC. And he was, I'm trying to remember if he's from England or Wales. Remember. So he's from the UK. So, yeah. I'm talking about how I got a call from my mom, and that my mom says she would own EMAC at TA. He doesn't seem to respond. That is not true. My mother did play Total Annihilation, but EMAC was much better than she was. So you can see EMAC's going wind here, where I'm going solar. I generally believe that solar was better in this. Wind varies, I believe, from very bad to +20, which generally makes it worth it. You see how we're not getting very much right now. But one of the other reasons why I tended to go solar a bit more than a lot of ARM players is because I spent a lot of my TA, quote-unquote, career degunning flashes. And it's very important as a Corps Commander to always have enough energy to be able to degun flashes. Otherwise, 4 or 5 of them could surround your commander, and that'd be the end of you. So I ask EMAC for no rush, 30-minute build time, ground war only, please. He says, okay. Of course, this is a ladder game or a IGW, that's not going to happen. EMAC pushes out 2 Jeffies right away to start. I walked 3 metal extractors and built solars, so I'm a little bit slower than he is. Plus, the Corps Commander is a slower, fatter walker. I build my radar and start putting out weasels of my own for some scouting and raiding. EMAC also throws out an early flash. EMAC was always a really solid player. You can always count on him for a really good game. And he's one of those players that he played a lot with me, to the point where I almost called him like the anti-me, because I tried out a lot of my weird and funky strategies. He was up for playing these weird maps. So, weasels are a little bit stronger than Jeffies, primarily because Jeffies can only take 2 missile hits. So you can see how it just took 1, takes 2, it blows up. He's got this other one right here. I see it. I hit the brush instead. I hit it and it goes. Now I'm trying to drive my weasels past this flash. Looks like I'm actually lose them to it. So with a little bit of open space, I would be able to drive around the flash, but instead he's able to control that. He sends the flash down to raid. I'm working on a construction vehicle, whereas EMAC is sending his con over here. So you can see, I've got this 6.4 metal income at this point. And he's on 7.5 because he walked his commander to get to these. So even though I've only got 3 of my metal extractors capped, we're pretty close in resources at this point, and that's just the imbalance coming in. I put on an additional missile tower. The reason why I'm doing that is chances are I'm planning on walking my commander up towards the middle. And I want to have a little bit of defense at home in case this little runaway flash comes or in case something breaks through, which is possible to do. EMAC building some more flashes. He intends to defend against weasels with the Samson. I'm getting my slashers around the pass there. We're just trying to find that runaway flash. EMAC is walking his. The reason why I'm reclaiming these trees here is I'm trying to make a little space. I get an instigator out. I'm doing some raiding of my own. The instigator is the flash equivalent, so to speak. It is not at all equivalent. The flash is a much better unit. But thanks to the missile towers and the fact that the flashes are damaged, I get to destroy that and pick up a sweet 85 metal for my own. The commander walked up to the middle here, puts up a radar, so that way I can see anything coming in and do my best to defend against it. EMAC has walked his commander down, capped some additional resources, and he returns to his factory. Now, he's on 15 metal at this point, my 8, but that's not going to last long, because you see I've got these nice, tightly packed, good metal resources. See the flash coming in? I'll send my units up to intercept it. 1 flash versus 3 gators. The flash isn't going to win that, especially with the 2 slashers helping out. EMAC decides he's going to drop some solars of his own. He doesn't like how his wind is performing. Go ahead and take those away. I think you guys get the idea. So I'm going to do a little bit of raiding. Send the instigators up on the right side. He's got his radar. He sees them coming. He sends the flashes to intercept. And 3 instigators against that force, they're not going to do anything. I just deposited all that metal on his doorstep. I go ahead and retreat my remaining gator. Max slightly ahead in metal until I finish capping down there. You might be wondering, how did I get my slashers to shoot even though I didn't have line of sight on that Samson? What I did is, as they were coming up, I hit guard on the retreating instigator, which was being shot by the Samsons. And that meant my units, even though they can't see it, will shoot the unit that is shooting the guarded unit. He drives his flashes in, he's trying to press me back. You can see how with my slashes, even though I'm exposing some resources, I'm always retreating with them, always moving away from the flashes. Mac marks that, but he didn't get any resources, and he deposited this nice metal for me to clean up. And I go ahead and oblige. And like I said in the last game, always clean up your messes. For some reason, I'm overlooking this, and I haven't capped that 0.8 right there. That is a mistake. Now what I'm doing here is I'm radar targeting, pressing in with my slashers, and using that to my advantage. Now I've got 2 factories up right now to EMAX 1. So I anticipate, and EMAC knows it, because he knows I probably didn't reclaim my original factory. So you can see he's bringing down some cons to support some construction vehicles. And he starts building defenders. So right now you can see I actually don't have that much line of sight on these Samsons. And so what I'm doing is I'm just radar targeting, do my best to try and drop them one at a time. Now, currently TA has been updated, so we have this nice map. And this makes it really easy to radar target, but at the time, this was not an option. So I've actually bagged the con right there that was building that missile tower. I continue radar targeting my way in. EMAC's pressing for some line of sight here, and you can see what he's starting to drop is a Guardian. These cost about 1,500 metal. They're static defense. They have really good range and really good damage and good accuracy. So his plan here is to control this pass and stop my slasher advance by using this Guardian. I kind of see at this point I'm outnumbering. Outnumbering him. He's continuing to use his commander, but he's versus my commander and an additional factory at this point. So I've got numbers on him. I clean him off that metal extractor. Now he's got 3 construction vehicles working on this Guardian at this point. I got these missile towers targeting that con. EMAC drops another con. So he's trying to protect these and slow my advance using the Dragon's Chief. And the Guardian is up. So I say you would go guard. Building Guardians, that wasn't what I like to do. I prefer things that can move. Guardians can't. But a lot of people would do a guard creep, where that's where they slowly build them in closer and closer, taking over more territory. And so I say sigh. I was thinking I was winning. Well, and I was winning the slasher push. So he turned that around and stopped that, essentially, because slashers, while they're good in big groups, it takes them a while to advance. And so the advance can be really halted by a well-placed Guardian. Trying to test its range. Radar targeting, but I don't really want to drop those slashers. I come up, I start building a Punisher of my own. The reason why I'm doing that right here is I want to deny this wreckage to him. I don't want him to be able to reclaim that. Or the reason why I'm pressing these in. I want to keep any con out that goes. He flies some scouts over. EMAC has gone air at this point. So, yeah, my plan is to keep him pushed back and deny the wreck field and deny these metal extractors over there as well, those metal deposits. Also deny him this one that's right there. Trying to scout, see where it's at. I send in the instigators. I know, okay, it's generally in this area. Now, when this happens, he sees I've got my Punisher up. I'm going to push him back. The question is, well, what do you do? Try a creep. Or you can try and build up enough units to plow through, but because I know he's got that laser tower and he's got that Guardian, it's really tough to break through. It takes a lot of units to kind of break that down, especially if he puts Dragon's Teeth around it. So the other option is to build artillery. Build like a Big Bertha or Intimidator that can shoot over the mountain and potentially, well, destroy their base from afar without even having to set foot in it. Take out that construction vehicle that was busy reclaiming. Oh, sorry. I'll turn this guy off. Only a little annoying. At this point, you can see our resources are roughly even. I'm on 26. EMAC is on 22 at this point. I've got all my mechs capped. Finally, did that one down there. I'm turning on my excess energy using these metal makers. And I have built a K-Bot lab, and I'm building thuds. Why on earth would you be building thuds, you might be asking? Aren't those useless? The one thing that's very important to know is that thuds, see, I'm denying him the metal extractors there. Thuds can walk over anything that a commander can walk over. And commander is the best climber. And so thuds can actually, well, actually, I think there are a few things that might be better, but thuds can actually walk up and over these hills. And so when anybody builds static defense, one of the things that's good to know is this represents about a 2,000 metal investment right there. So I have 2,000 metal, although I matched it, presumably. I can build 2,000 metal worth of unit that can go somewhere where this is not. He can't pick these up and drop them somewhere else. My intent is to run over the hill. So you can see he's brought down a radar jammer, so that way he can actually cap these metal extractors. So that's a little clever move by him. And EMAC is going Big Bertha. His intention here is to shell me out of existence. He can scout using his aircraft plant, and he'll be able to see what he wants to shoot. But at this point, he's just building bombers. He plans on doing a little raiding. And my force of thuds continues to get larger. EMAC sends in his bombers. Bombs at metal extractor, and immediately I start marching my thuds over the hill. The reason why I'm not waiting for that force to get any bigger is I know he's seen it. He's going to be able to react by building these flashes. So much so he's actually, you can see how he's bringing his aircon in to help. So I want to attack as soon as it's possible. So now my thuds start marching over the hill, destroying his Samsons. He brings flashes down. Thuds are not very good at killing flashes. Now at this point, I know that all his attention and units are over here, so I take my entire force of slashers and send it through. You can see how his Guardian is only shooting at the ones that come into line of sight, because he's not paying attention to this. His attention is actually focused over here on the thuds that are walking through his base. So I'm able to get my slashers in to defend. I'm also walking my commander over at this point. His bombers get away from him because they're auto-attacking the thuds. And my thuds just march into the back of the base. Commander comes over. I start attacking his geo, attacking his aircraft plant. He drops his geo, aircraft plant blows up, he doesn't get any metal from it. He's still sticking to his Big Bertha though. See, he's building heavy laser towers. He's building another heavy laser tower right here. He's really trying to control my attack. He knows he can't get up enough flashes out in time. So my thuds go, they shoot. You see how quickly, when enough thuds get on top of something, they can take down. That heavy laser tower didn't last very long. So I've also got these slashers here to protect against flashes and air. Although now that his air is down, I don't have to worry. His vehicle plant goes down. My commander comes up. I drop a vehicle lab and planning on building additional slashers to defend me, to help fight. His commander walks up. He starts degunning. Thuds are not good at taking up commanders. That's another reason for having the slashers in support. EMAC's Bertha is almost done. He's got 2 heavy laser arrows defending it. Once that's done, if he gets it out, he's going to be able to start knocking out my base. Unfortunately, because I took out his air lab, he's not going to have anything to see, so he's just going to kind of be guessing on where the units are coming from. He built some rockets of his own to fight. You can see at this point, EMAC's resources, he's down to making plus 16, my 30. Because these rockets aren't moving, they're getting blasted by the thuds. And the Big Bertha is done. At this point, I've turned off the vehicle lab and switched to cons here, because I'm producing slashers out of here, and the slashers, I just don't want them to die going through the pass. See how EMAC, using his radar jammer, came and he claimed this wreck field while I was busy attacking in the north. I see another factory, the thuds start shooting it, and I see the the commander there. Factory goes down. He's got 3 heavy laser towers defending his Bertha now, and the Bertha's opening fire, and he's just clicking on stuff at this point, taking out resources. I've got a second Cavedog lab up. And I inadvertently walk up on his BB. So I start shooting it with the slashers, seeing if I can take it out. They have longer range than the heavy laser tower. But while they're shooting, you can see how he's able to drive his flashes up and do damage. So I have to respond and shoot the flashes. He builds solar, he's building other things around it, just a nano block. He's got an energy storage in front of it. Right now you can see how it's just kind of searching. That's because it's set to fire at will. So he's just trying to, it's just auto trying to target these. They can't hit them, they're too close. I use a Valkyrie and I airlift a construction vehicle over the top. As I had enough of them down here, I go and I'm grabbing another. Using my aircon, I reclaimed that wreckage from the vehicle plant. So I'm just trying to take over this territory and get additional resources. What I was trying to do is use my slashers to break down that wreck. For some reason it wasn't happening. Not exactly sure why. And EMAC seems to have set himself up in defense right here. But I'm way ahead in production. Now I've got plenty of idle construction vehicles. Not exactly a good look, but at this point my focus is really trying to take him out. Now what I'm doing is I'm building a Punisher. I know I said I'm not a big fan of those. I'm building a Punisher within range of his Big Bertha. He doesn't have any way to scout it. He doesn't know it's coming at this point. Trying to send some thuds to take out these resources. His commander's in the way. See how quickly commander makes work of the thuds. And my Punisher's up. He starts repairing it. Punisher is hitting the rack half the time. And it's on there. You can see how quickly that Bertha's just getting hit. Tries to save it. Khan dies. Nano blocking. Not able to do it. Bertha blows up. That's a sigh of relief for me. The Bertha's out of the way. That was EMAC's main way of winning, and at this point, that really puts the game in my hands. Notice how I kept shooting with my Punisher at that wreck? It went from being worth 4,000 metal down to 2,000 metal. At that point, I switched targets to taking out the Sentinel. He's starting to build a Guardian of his own. Why is EMAC shooting his Guardian? At this point, he wants this Guardian to get up to defend that territory. He doesn't need this one in the past as much, so he's damaging it so he can reclaim it. I'm just using radar. Building defenses. I've taken over the territory. I take out his last heavy laser tower there. I fly a scout in. I know he's got radar jammers. I see that he's building the Guardian. That one gets reclaimed. And his Guardian is up. Starts shooting, trying to take out some units. His commander's trying to get away, so he just deguns his own Khan to get it out of the way. Even though I've mostly got this game in the bag, EMAC isn't giving up. It's a ladder game or an IGW. You don't give up. You see how he throws down a nano frame with his commander and then starts shooting his D-gun, keeping his commander alive and also defending his Guardian. I'm just hammering it with the slashers. And I take it out. EMAC's still degunning. You can see right now I'm at 60 metal or so. EMAC says he forgot about those thuds. His lab drops. I smile. He says good game. There he goes. So, the reason why I really like that game, is, it's one of those games that kind of shows a situation in which core is better than ARM. Might be better. I mean, overall, ARM is probably better on this map. And the map is not balanced, so, and usually whoever gets bottom has a considerable advantage. But the fact that if you know the ins and outs of your side, you can do cute little things like that. I saw EMAC made a heavy investment in the static defense. He went air, and I was like, okay, I know I can build units, and that's great. You built this nice little nest that's really hard to get through. I'll just walk around it, and that's exactly what happened at that point. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one on the Great Divide, and I also wanted to say I'm really enjoying the feedback and all the stuff that's going on in the comments as well. I'm really glad that you guys are into this. So thanks so much for just subscribing in the comments. Make sure you guys like and just invite other people who are interested in TA to come check this out as well. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, take care. Catch you next time.